Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to another episode of Muslim Divorce Basics. My name is Naveed Husain. I am a divorce attorney from Chicago. Today I wanted to talk about the difference between an annulment, legal separation, and divorce. I get this question a lot. Before we get into the answer, please subscribe if you want to keep up to date with the videos. If you've been liking them, go ahead and press the like button. So what is the difference between a divorce, a legal separation, and an annulment? So when it comes to a divorce, I think we all know what that means. You were married for a particular time, you decide to get divorced, and now your marriage is over, it's terminated, there's no more marital property that's going to be accumulated, you go your separate ways, now you can get married, right? That's pretty straightforward. A legal separation, I get this question a lot because it seems very popular in our community to want a legal separation. I don't know if it's because of the stigma that comes with divorce or legal separation sounds better, I don't know. But basically, a legal separation is where you kind of are cutting off the accumulation of further marital property. You're officially separated. You can talk about like child support and maintenance and other things like that. And it's basically exactly like a divorce, except you can't get married. And I think really who this is attracted to is those certain faiths that don't believe in divorce. Islamically, obviously, we do believe in divorce. So there could be some advantages of a legal separation. For example, if you already are living separate and apart, you don't want to get divorced for insurance reasons or some other reason, then a legal separation might work. But most of the time, it's probably just going to be a divorce. Now, I think the one I get a lot, and actually we do have a lot of cases like this, are annulment cases, okay? And an annulment doesn't work in every situation. I feel like a lot of us want an annulment, again, because it might sound better, but there's only 4 reasons that we can get an annulment, okay? Number 1 is you didn't consent, okay? You lacked consent, right? So for example, you were under duress, or somebody committed fraud, or something like that would be the basis for an annulment. And there's also time limits with each one of these reasons that you can file for annulment. So you can't come 10, 15 years later and say, oh, that he committed fraud or there was some type of duress, right? You have 90 days, especially for number 1, you have 90 days from figuring out about the fraud or the duress to file an annulment, okay? Number 2, the second reason why you can get annulment is lacking physical capacity. Okay, so physical capacity meaning you cannot consummate the marriage and you didn't know about this physical disability at the time of the wedding. And so for this particular grounds for annulment, you have 1 year to file for an annulment. The third one is age. Okay, and so if you were 16 or 17, you got married without your parents' consent, you have the ability to annul that marriage before the age of 18, okay? And fourth and finally is a prohibited marriage. And this is usually the one that I get a lot, is marriages between first cousins, for example, is defined as a prohibited marriage in Illinois. And one party can seek an annulment saying that our marriage is invalid, okay? So prohibited marriage, for example, multiple marriages, or not properly divorcing the first legal wife and getting a new wife. So that's the fourth basis for invalidation. And for this particular grounds, there's no time limit. We have a number of cases where first cousins have been married for 20 years. One of them decides to file an annulment, and now it makes the litigation much, much more complicated. There is something called putative spouse, which means that if your marriage was invalidated and you truly believed that it was a proper marriage and you had a marriage ceremony and things like that, you might still get the benefits as if you were married. So there are certain saving provisions in the law for those types of circumstances. So if you've enjoyed this video, if you've been here till the end, please go ahead and like that video. And inshallah, until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.